When I was younger, I would prefer summer treks, then I got fascinated with winter treks. But now at this stage of my life, I just love the spring treks. Now, why do I love spring treks? It's because of the freshness it brings in. The winter is just getting over. The nip is still in the air. The last of the winter snows are still there, but I get the fresh blooms of the flowers coming up, the fragrance in the air, the forest is chirping with birds, and the colors are all over. I don't have the summer haze still, so the skies are still clear, the summit views are wonderful. So spring has now become my favorite trekking season, so I'm looking forward to some of the greatest spring treks that we have. Now at Indiahikes, we have around 18 spring treks to do. And I'm not surprised that our trekkers are perpetually confused which one to do. So today what I will do is I'll pick my favorite spring treks and then let our trekkers decide for themselves. So I'll start with the first one, which I would want everyone to do. That would be the Deorital Chandrashila. Now everybody knows Deorital Chandrashila is a nice summit climb to do, and you get this fantastic summit views, and I have to give it. I mean, once you stand on the summit, you're seeing the greatest mountain ranges of a country. But don't do the trek in spring for that. Do it for the rhododendrons that you will see in spring. Until few months ago, this was the rhododendron trek to do in our country, the Deorital Chandrashila. Especially on your second day and your third day when you're on the trek, you're going to get sections after sections of rhododendrons which have turned the hillside on fire, scarlets, pinks, red rhododendrons, and they're all around you, they're falling on the ground. It's that great a view. And then through the rhododendron trees, you see Mount Chokhamba rising from the edges of the meadows. You see all the big summits of the greatest of the Himalayan ranges rising through the canopy of these trees. Trekkers are absolutely going to get smitten by this. And even Deorital, people talk about Deorital, the reflection of Mount Chokhamba and Deorital. No one talks about the rhododendron trees around Deorital and what you see through those trees, the big mountainscape. So that's the reason Deorital is one trek which I would want every trekker to do. The next on my list is Goechala. I want to tell this very straight. You need to prepare for this trek. It's not an easy trek. It is a difficult trek. So if you keep the difficulty aside, then Goechala is my next rhododendron trek to do. Because when I did this trek, I remember there was this good 2 hours section when I didn't see anything outside rhododendrons. I was just under the canopy of rhododendrons. And there were times when the rhodo flowers would fall on my head. And it has such a long section of rhododendrons, and the colors keep changing. At the lower hills, you have the red and the scarlets. At the upper hills, you have the pinks and the yellows. And then you get the dwarf rhododendrons. And then, it just opens up and you get this beautiful mountainscape. And I remember again, I had done this in this season. I saw bird life in Goechala, which I have not seen in many treks, because these rhodos were attracting these birds and insects and butterflies in droves. And all my, the birder friends who were accompanying me, they couldn't stop clicking photographs on this trek. That much you get to see bird life, and birds which you have not seen in other regions of our country. So extreme high biodiversity, and Goechala is one big trek to do. next on my list is Ranthan Kharak. We used to call Goechala and Deorital the rhodo treks of our country. Ranthan Kharak is the mother of rhodo treks. That is the density of rhododendrons that you will see, especially in spring, March and April. This is the time to smash this trek, and then outside the rhododendrons that you will see over here, you will get the Kumaon mountains that you will get to see. The Panchachuli range. You'll see Mount Nanda Devi, the highest summit of this thing, and a totally different face. You'll see Mount Nanda Kot over there. So huge summits to see, terrific ridge walk on the final climb to the summit, super forest, untouched, clearings are great. I mean, I cannot just stop speaking about this trek because this trek has so much going for it, and you will not see a single crowd. So do this trek. I would say make this trek a priority of the season before it gets crowded, because it has too many good things going for it, but it would be the top rhododendron trek to do in our country. The next on my list is not a trek even in our country. It's outside our country, it's in Nepal, it's the Khopra Ridge. Khopra Ridge is very close to the Annapurna Base Camp trek, a very famous trek. But if you were to ask me, Khopra Ridge beats Annapurna Base Camp trek hollow by miles. You don't see one summit, two summits, you see 23 of the world's best highest summits. And up close, Dhaulagiri is just here. In fact, it is going along with you all the time. You have Macharapuche, you have Annapurna, you get to see so many of the summits. And they just go on, and then when you finally climb the Khopra Ridge, you are at around 15,000 plus feet. Elevation is grand, the views are grand. Rhododendrons are many in the spring season because you get Kharak views. No haze in the sky, and you get to see this grand 7,000, 8,000 meter summits. Human beings have not seen these things. So Khopra Ridge is again a trek to do. Only caution is, it's a high altitude trek. If you can prepare for it, an international experience, a tea house experience, a great cultural experience, plus the views. Superb trek to do in spring. Now I come back to India, and this is a trek not many people talk about, especially in spring, but I feel this is a trek you must do in spring. It is the Har Ki Dun trek. Har Ki Dun is a valley, and in spring, when the snow has started melting, the valley is becoming lush. You have springs and brooks running all through the trek, and they're gurgling as you keep going along. And you will find that the forests are coming alive with bird sounds. You will find the grasslands coming alive with little flowers of all colors. You have white, yellows, and all of those colors are coming alive. And you will find the last of the snow patches on the mountain flanks very close to you. You'll be watching them, and this huge mountains all around you to see the Swargarohini, the Kalanag, the other summits that you will get to see there, and they're right in front of you, and you're just inching closer every moment of the trek. But this trek has a lot of other enchanting aspects. One thing which always I liked, why I like going there, is the culture part of it. It's a valley of gods, there's whole stories that you will hear, the temples you will see, the culture is very unique. From the people, how they look, to the temples, how they are designed and architecture, it's just fascinating to see in the villages. I like this Boslo forest. People just don't talk about it, I don't know why, but that section is like those enchanting forests which you must do. And then there is the Devsu Thaj. If you ask me outside Kashmir, which is that best, that meadowy grassy place that I like, it is Devsu Thaj on the Har Ki Dun trek. Beautiful, it's like almost landscape by God. All in all, the trek has too many good things going for it, especially in spring when the snow is just melted and it's just coming alive. This is the trek to do. And finally, a trek, and that's why I've kept it at the end, is the Kuari Pass. needs no introduction. It's one of the most popular treks in our country, and reason why it is popular is because of the fantastic views and what the trek gives you. It is a crowded trek. Even in spring you will find it crowded, but my advice is this: of all the crowds, spring is the least. So go and see what grand mountain views actually can be in a country. Because from Kuari Pass, as you touch the ridge, the mountain views that you see are the greatest mountains that the Indian Himalayas can show you. From Nanda Devi to Mount Carmel to Hathi Ghoda, you name it, Chaukhamba, you name it, you keep seeing them one after the other, like a range. And then, from our campus itself, you see Mount Dronagiri right in front of you. The sunrises and sunsets on it. What colors! The forests on this trek, everybody knows that forest on this trek is such a huge attraction. These are forests, I've seen forests on a lot of treks, but Kuari Pass forests will just mesmerize you. I didn't even mention Gorsan Bugyal, because that's again a great meadows to walk on and take these mountains as it glides past you as you go. All in all, Kuari Pass, one of the best treks to do in our country, again in spring, because when you want to see these mountain views, you want to see it as clear as possible. Spring gives you that clarity in the air for you to see without the nip and the coldness that you cannot stand there for 5 minutes to see, take in that view. Springs gives you that time where you can just leisurely watch these mountains and then understand that trekking, what it truly means in the Indian Himalayas. That's Kuari Pass. And these are my top 6 treks to do in spring. I could have talked about a lot more. I think we have endless treks to do in our country, but these would be my favorite to do, and these would be some which I would revisit again and again.